Hey guys, welcome back for our very first lecture on charts and graphs. So we're actually going to be building the line graph now as our first example. So the way to do that is you want to go to the Insert menu tab, like so. Then you want to go into Charts over here, okay? Then you want to select Line. Okay. Now, before we actually select line, there's something important I gotta mention to you. When you want to insert a blank line graph, a blank column graph, and so on, you gotta make sure your cursor is not in the table. Okay. If your cursor is out here, you'll have no problem. But if it's in here, what Excel is gonna try and do is auto build your table, which is your graph, which you don't want. And I'll show you why you don't want that. So you got the cursor in the table right now. So let's create a graph in that position. So you want to go line and select the very first one. Watch what happens. Excel is going to auto build based on the data. Okay, which is what we don't want. We want to be able to manually build it and manipulate it, okay, based on what we want it to look like, not the auto build. So delete that. We're going to do it again. So start by selecting empty space in your workbook, like so. Then you want to go Insert, you want to go Line, and select the very first one. Okay, there we go. So now this is the space for us to create our chart or our line graph. So let's make that a bit bigger so you guys can see. Okay, so now we want to introduce our information. What is the chart actually going to be built with? What are the X values? X in as in going horizontally, okay, and vertically the y-axis, what are we going to put there? Okay, so for this one we want to have, for the vertical axis, the current net worth in billions, and then across the bottom we want each person's name as you go down the list. Okay, so we're going to add those values. So start by right clicking the chart area, like so. Then you're going to see a button called Select Data, so we're going to select that, like so. It's going to bring up this window. Now this window is the same for every chart that you make, okay? It comprises of two areas. You got the legend entries here, and you got your horizontal axes label here, okay? So for the values we'll be adding, we'll be using the left side, like so. When you click Add, it's going to bring you to this window. Now what this window does is it allows you to choose the series name. What that means is, what is the title of the data you're introducing? Okay. Then you got series value, which is what are the values themselves. Okay. So let's start with the series name. We're going to be doing current net worth in billions as our first data series. Okay. Then the series values will be these values. Okay. So let's get rid of that. So series name, we can select inside this field, like so, so you got the cursor blinking. Then you want to select current net worth in billions, just the title, okay? Then you want to select the series values. Now you want to delete what's already in here, like so. All right, so we have a fresh slate. Now you want to select the values by clicking and dragging, okay? And there we go. One of the things you'll notice is as you introduce information, the chart will automatically update. Okay, so to give you an idea, the series name, as you can see, is over here now. Oops, that's a weird triangle. Okay, and then the values themselves, which is the series values over here, is what you see in the graph. Now, one of the things you'll notice is once we press OK, we're going to come back to this field, to this window, sorry. Now I'm going to pop this just on the bottom over here. Now this right side has just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. They're just generic numbers. Now these numbers correspond to the fields down here, your horizontal values. We don't want those to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. We want the names of the billionaires over here to go in the bottom, so we know who we're looking at. Okay, so let's do that now. Let's bring the window back up. Now what we want to do is we want to go edit on the horizontal bracket category access labels. Go edit. All right, so one of the other things I want to show you is there's this button on the right. Okay, if you press that, what it's going to allow you to do is select the data you're going to be introducing. So if we press that, it's going to minimize like so. So let's select the names like so. And Excel is going to create the formulas like you've seen. And when you're happy with this, you press that button again. Now you'll notice in the one we did before, we didn't do that. So it's up to you if you want to use the button or if you just want to go from within the field. Okay, so now that it's in there, you'll see that the graph has again updated. So once we're happy with that, we're just going to press OK. That's going to bring us back to the select data source window. Okay, and we're happy with this, so we're going to press OK here as well. And there you go. There's your graph. So as you can see, you've got all your billionaire names at the bottom and the billionaire values on the left side. Okay, now one of the cool things is we can add another data series, meaning we can add another line of data. So the way to do that is to pretty much repeat the process. So select your chart like so. We want to right click and we want to select data. That's going to bring us back up again to the select data source window. So we want to add not just the current net worth, okay, which is over here. We also want to add the net worth 5 years ago over here. Okay, so the way to do that is we want to go add on the left side. Okay, series name, again it's going to be the title of our data like so. Okay, now series value, we want to get rid of this default value. Okay, and we want to select the information underneath that heading like so. Now we press OK. Now as you can see, the data has now superimposed onto itself. All right, pretty cool. So we're happy with this. Now we're just going to press OK. And there you go. You've created your very first graph. You got 2 sets of data in there. So what's coming next is actually how to format this and make it look really, really pretty. All right, guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.